Cleanup is underway this evening in Kershaw County after a cargo train derails early this morning. We've got the latest details, including what investigators believe sent the train off the tracks. Coming up in a live report. Plus, a search and rescue operation is underway for 3 U.S. Marines missing off the coast of Australia this evening. The latest on search efforts at this hour. And we're tracking pop-up storms in the Midlands at this hour as well, when you could see rain and storms in your area ahead in the First Alert forecast.
Live, local, now. This is WIS News 10.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Emily Scarlett. A messy situation in Kershaw County this evening after an early morning train derailment spills gallons of diesel fuel across the tracks. You can see the train cars sprawled out from this aerial footage from Sky I-10. This incident happened off a highway near Main Street. It even prompted the evacuation of a nearby storage warehouse damaged in that derailment. Our Caroline Patricus is live in Lugoff tonight with more on what may have caused this scary incident. Caroline?
Well, Emily, cleanup is still underway right now. Several cars derailed early this morning here in Lugoff, just off of Highway 601. Several emergency crews are still here and say they'll be here as long as it takes to get everything cleaned up. Now, when the train derailed, it's believed that 1,500 gallons of diesel fuel leaked from a locomotive. That was in a contained area, but it's what the train was carrying that had officials worried. They were worried about a possible chemical spill and started to put evacuations into place in nearby neighborhoods. And they quickly realized that the contents were not leaking and no evacuations were made. Our Sky I-10 drone shot video of what the scene looks like from above. We have been told that several CSX crews have been dispatched to clean it all up.
Put steps in place to evacuate those people in that subdivision. We were fortunate enough to have a situation where that did not have to take place, and that we did evacuate a storage warehouse that had 3 employees working at the time, due to the fact that we had information that the 2 hopper cars that derailed actually hit that building. We were worried about the building being compromised. We was also worried about what the cars were carrying at that time.
Now, officials said that it looked like a parked bulldozer on the train tracks caused this huge mesh. But now they're trying to figure out if it was deliberate or not. And I also just received a text from the Lugoff chief fire. He says that they plan on working all night and have all materials and equipment here and ready. But there were no injuries reported, which is good, and no threats to the public. We'll keep you updated if we learn anything new. For now, live here in Lugoff, Caroline Patricus, WIS News 10.
Thanks for that, Caroline. Let's head right into weather. This evening, we're tracking the chance of rain and storms moving through the Midlands. You can see some dark clouds and what looks like rain coming down from our tower cam. Meteorologist Vaughn Gaskin has more on the pop-up storms this evening. Vaughn?
That's right, and we're tracking a severe thunderstorm warning that just popped up over parts of Richland and Lexington County. As it continues to move at 6:04, we're going to see it right over the Carolina Eastman plant, and at 6:47, we will see it over Hopkins. Now, it does continue to move to the east at about 10 miles per hour. With that being said, that's going to give us some issues with it pushing into areas just outside of Hopkins and eventually moving into areas right over Sumter County. But with that severe thunderstorm warning in place until 6:45, we'll continue to watch this particular area. But we have to watch it closely, not just for the heavy rain and lightning that it's producing. It's also producing some hail. We have a possibility of it producing about a hail that's going to be 1 inch in diameter, and that's going to be in the area that has that consistent deep blue. Old Wire Road, of course, we are here on 321. If you take Old Wire Road, this would actually lead you right on up into areas over near the 12th Street extension, near the Amazon plant. So that's the area that's being affected now by the widespread heavy rain. This is K Avenue heading into Carolina Eastman, Dixiana here. So you're starting to come just outside of the Casey area. So this is all of the areas that are now being affected. When we first saw the storms popping up, they were pretty light in nature, but now that we see them, they're actually starting to gather together, and that's why we see that issue that we're seeing now with a severe thunderstorm warning. So we will continue to watch it, and until 6:45, we're going to hold steady on this and make sure that we continue to give you updates and let you know exactly what's going on. Other than that, we really don't have a whole lot of other storms in town. Of course, I'll continue to keep you updated throughout the course of the show.
Appreciate that, Vaughn. New at 6, an employee for the Army Corps of Engineers has been charged in the death of an upstate deputy who drowned during a training exercise. 37-year-old Jess Fleming was arrested Friday and charged with reckless homicide by boat. Officials say Fleming was operating a boat during the training on Lake Hartwell back on June 1st. Fleming and 2 others were thrown from that boat during the exercise. Anderson County Sheriff's Deputy Devin Hodges drowned when his life jacket got caught on a propeller, pinning him underwater. The Richland County Sheriff's Department is mourning the loss of one of their K-9 deputies. Officials say K-9 deputy Tosca passed away this morning after being taken off a ventilator. Officials say Tosca suffered from an illness that has yet to be determined. Tosca had completed extensive trainings, including drug detection and area tracking. Columbia police are investigating a stabbing at an apartment complex. CBD says the stabbing happened at the Arrington Place apartment complex on the 1700 block of Van High Street. No word yet on injuries or if anyone is in custody. We'll continue to update you as we learn more. New details this evening. We now know the name of a person arrested after a high-speed chase ended in a collision on River Drive Friday night. Police say 30-year-old Gavin Williams led police on a vehicle and foot chase in Richland County. Police say Williams was seen throwing a beer can out of the vehicle before hitting another car head on. He then tried to run on foot from the collision but was caught a short distance away. Williams, a passenger in his car, and the driver of the other car were all taken to the hospital. Williams faces multiple charges, including second-degree DUI and resisting arrest. The homecoming for a North Carolina woman cleared of drug trafficking charges in Honduras is being put on hold for now. Friends and family were hoping that Amanda LaRoque would arrive in Raleigh today, but her attorney says he found out on Friday that she cannot get her passport back. That's because the prosecutor who needs to sign the paperwork is on vacation until next week. Some of her friends who gathered at the bar that LaRoque owns are pretty disappointed.
They're like family, good people.
We're a family and we just want the best for her, you know, especially in a circumstance like this where it's unfair, to say the least.
LaRoque was arrested last weekend after airport security found what was suspected to be cocaine on her, but tests of the substance came back negative. The charges were dropped Friday. Making headlines around the world, search and rescue operations are underway for 3 U.S. Marines who are missing after their plane crashed off the east coast of Australia. The Marines were aboard an Osprey aircraft similar to this one. The Marines said that 23 of 26 personnel aboard the plane were rescued after today's crash. The Osprey involved in the mishap was conducting regularly scheduled operations when it went down. The United Nations Security Council has unanimously approved new sanctions on North Korea. The vote took place at the Security Council meeting at the UN headquarters in New York this afternoon. The resolution bans exports worth over $1 billion and bans countries from giving any additional permits to North Korean laborers. The sanctions come after North Korea's first successful test of intercontinental ballistic missiles that were capable of reaching the U.S. last month. UN Ambassador Nikki Haley says the resolution is a significant step in increasing pressure on North Korea.
This is the most stringent set of sanctions on any country in a generation. These sanctions will cut deep, and in doing so will give the North Korean leadership a taste of the deprivation they have chosen to inflict on the North Korean people.
The resolution bans North Korea from exporting coal, iron, lead, or seafood products estimated to be worth over $1 billion, which represents 2/3 of its total exports last year. Coming up, 2 employees at world-renowned universities are in custody this evening, charged with a brutal murder in Chicago. New details in the investigation this evening. Plus, we're beginning to see some activity on the radar across the Midlands when the wet weather could affect your area ahead in your First Alert forecast.
We'll be in the low 90s for the next several days.
Thank you, Vaughn. Still to come this evening, heartbreak for an Oklahoma family after a grandmother's mistake turns deadly. Details in this tragic hot car death when we return. Oklahoma deputies are investigating after a 4-month-old girl is found dead inside her grandmother's SUV. The discovery was made Friday afternoon outside the Apple Creek Learning Center in the small town of Luther. Police say the grandmother thought she had dropped the baby off at the daycare center on her way to work Friday morning, but she had not. Instead, she went to work in Oklahoma City, and when she returned to the daycare center looking for a granddaughter, she was told she had never dropped off the child. That's when the baby was found dead inside the back of the vehicle.
The intention was to drop the child off here at the learning center, but that didn't happen, and so the only thing we can surmise is that the child was apparently in the back of the vehicle at the grandmother's place of work for the entire day.
Temperatures in Oklahoma City got up into the 90s on Friday. So far, no charges have been filed. A giant sinkhole in Florida is getting even bigger. The sinkhole in Lando Lakes expanded by up to 30 feet on Friday, so it's now estimated to be 260 feet wide. It initially destroyed 2 homes, but officials now say they had to condemn 2 other homes. The 50-foot deep sinkhole opened on July 14th. Officials say they are still waiting for geologists to determine if it's still active or not. Several more homes are still in the sinkhole's perimeter. The countdown to kickoff continues. Tonight we'll hear from Gamecock receiver Brian Edwards, who's looking to improve on his impressive freshman season. Plus, the world's fastest man upset in London. Sports is up next.
With some big track and field news, the world's fastest man is dethroned. Jamaica's Usain Bolt loses his final 100-meter dash at the World Championships in London. Bolt is retiring this year. He'll turn 31 later this month. He's the world record holder in the 100 and 200. Now today in the 100-meter final, Bolt gets off to a slow start. He'll make up some ground. It'll be a photo finish, but Bolt finishes third behind a pair of Americans. Justin Gatlin takes gold and Christian Coleman gets the silver. Bolt will finish his career as the greatest sprinter ever with 8 Olympic gold medals and 11 World Championship titles. And he will have one more race next weekend. He's going to run in the 4x100 relay. So he has a chance to go out as a winner in this final race. But man, I'm going to miss seeing him run.
Absolutely. What do you think? Just a bad night? What do you think happened?
He's getting older.
Okay.
Getting
older.
slower.
31, you said?
Yeah, he's for
the sport. Getting
August
older.
21st, he'll be 31. Yeah, for a sprinter, he's getting older.
Well, let's hope he has a good night for his last race.
Yeah, let's hope so.
All right, thanks for that. We'll have a final check on your forecast after the break. Got sort of spoiled, Vaughn, because we had this nice low humidity. Now the storms are returning.
They're back to a summertime forecast, and we're looking at severe thunderstorm warning, which will continue until about 6:45. But the storm is getting much weaker, but still packing a punch with gusty wind up to 60 miles per hour. Plenty of lightning in there and heavy rain. So watch for that if you're going to be in that area near Gaston, near Carolina Eastman Plant, and south of Hopkins. So that entire area under the gun with that severe thunderstorm. Also for tomorrow, 93, a bit warmer because we will have more sunshine to start the day.
Thanks for watching. We're back at 11.